Let's be honest, nobody likes peeing in a cup, especially if you have a vagina. An ex-user from September 21st puts it best. Peeing in a cup for a urine sample can be a humbling experience, to say the least. However, a French electronics company called WeThings has been in the process of developing a product that could change urine collection altogether, as well as enhance its purposes. A January 2023 article from MedCity News describes how WeThings has been designing the U-Scan, a small device that will sit inside of your toilet bowl and use the biomarkers in your urine to collect a daily snapshot of your health. U-Scan is a practical, convenient device that's worth learning more about because of its potential uses in medical sampling. Today, we'll familiarize ourselves with U-Scan by first learning about how it collects data, then studying its current applications in clinical trials before finally considering its most significant implications for medical sampling. Because personally, I'm sick of getting urine all over my hands every time I have to give a sample at the doctor's office. Before we can explore how U-Scan could influence medical sampling as a whole, we need to learn about how it collects data. The WeThings website, last updated October 2023, outlines the structure and function of this gadget. U-Scan is only about 90 millimeters wide and attaches to the inside of a toilet bowl using a flexible fixation arm. The product comes with multiple sizes of this arm to make it compatible with most toilets. The main U-Scan component contains a disposable cartridge, which is filled with about 3 months' worth of test pods. Once U-Scan has completed a urine test, it automatically rotates out the used pods in order to minimize the user's interaction with the device. Then, once it's finished compiling its results from the urine, U-Scan automatically uploads those results to the WeThings app via a Wi-Fi connection. With its first launch of U-Scan, WeThings plans to unveil 2 types of cartridges. One, the Cycle Sync, will be for tracking menstrual cycles. The other, NutriBalance, will be for monitoring one's general nutrition. While both types of U-Scan will share the capability to measure some of the same biomarkers, others will be unique to one model or the other. Water balance and pH are 2 biomarkers that will be tracked by both versions of U-Scan. Water balance tells us how hydrated we are, and pH tells us how acidic or basic our diet is. Luteinizing hormone, or LH, is an example of a biomarker that will be unique to CycleSync. Keeping track of LH levels can provide important information for those who are either trying to conceive or who are trying to avoid conception. A July 2021 article from Natalist explains that LH levels should be at their peak about 12 hours before someone ovulates, which is when they'll be at their most fertile. On the other hand, ketone levels are a biomarker that is unique to NutriBalance. An August 2022 article from Healthline explains that ketone levels in the urine indicate how much fat the body has been burning for energy. Elevated ketones in the urine can indicate that someone has developed a condition called ketonuria, which is one of the most common symptoms that lead up to a diagnosis of diabetes. However, although its marketing may make it seem otherwise, WeThings notes on its website that U-Scan is merely a tracking device and should not be used as a source of medical advice. Rather, WeThings suggests that the data collected by U-Scan be used in combination with visits to a primary care doctor. Now that we've learned about how U-Scan collects data, we're ready to study how that data is being applied through clinical trials. The aforementioned MedCity News article describes how 2 different clinical trials using U-Scan are already well underway. First, Dr. Marie Kirby has a study in the works that is evaluating the usefulness of how U-Scan can improve follow-up care for patients with kidney stones. Certain biomarkers, such as calcium and uric acid, can be very helpful in tracking kidney stones, and Dr. Kirby is testing a version of the U-Scan that monitors those 2 biomarkers. An August 2022 article from Healthline Plus cites Dr. Naeem Malouf, who explains that in addition to medical imaging technologies such as CT scans, urine testing can also be very useful for determining what type of kidney stones are present, as well as the reason behind their formation. Therefore, we've been using urine testing to keep track of kidney stones, and UScan could allow patients to do this monitoring by themselves from home with the approval of their doctor. Second, Dr. Frank Perez is studying how UScan could be helpful in detecting relapses in bladder and ovarian cancer. An article all the way back from January 2006 from the Journal of Clinical Cancer Research discusses the detection of certain urine biomarkers that help with identifying early signs of ovarian cancer. This means that we've known for a while that urine testing can be a key component of catching cancer early on, and UScan can make this non-invasive diagnostic process that much easier. Now that we've learned about how UScan collects data and how that data is being applied through clinical trials, we're ready to consider two key implications of this device: increased accessibility of medical information, and people feeling encouraged to self-diagnose. First, UScan can help people work together with their doctors in order to track and treat their conditions. UScan has the potential to heighten the quality of medical communication by providing a convenient way for patients to report concerns to their doctors. To put this into perspective, we can consider how virtual patient portals have been on the rise in recent years. A September 2021 article from the Journal of Medical Internet Research describes how a study was conducted in 2021 to evaluate the impact of virtual patient portals on the quality of healthcare. The study found that overall, virtual portals do enhance the quality of healthcare by improving the relationship and the communication between doctor and patient. This is relevant to UScan because of how it gives people quantitative information that's easily communicable to a doctor through one of these virtual portals. Next, UScan unfortunately has the potential to encourage its users to self-diagnose. An August 2022 article from The Conversation points out that although self-diagnosing is easier and can make people feel as if they have more control than when they visit their doctor's office, it's far from an ideal practice. Frequent self-diagnoses, especially those reached after spending some time surfing the internet, can produce a state of heightened anxiety that's been coined cyberchondria. Additionally, patients who have already self-diagnosed themselves before consulting their doctor could be less likely later on to believe their doctor if they're given a different diagnosis. This could then lead to them making detrimental health decisions that could put them in danger. Receiving daily health information from a device like UScan could make people feel as if they need to immediately take to the internet to decipher their results, especially if they see that a biomarker is present at abnormally high or low levels. Therefore, although UScan provides us with a more efficient way to communicate with our healthcare specialists, it also introduces more opportunities for patients to self-diagnose. With over 3,000 biomarkers present in a specimen as accessible as urine, it makes perfect sense that a device should exist that can take daily urine samples. WeThings' UScan device is a practical, convenient device that brings urine analysis into the comfort of people's own homes. The numerous amount of biomarkers in urine enables WeThings to continue developing the product beyond menstrual cycle and nutrition tracking. Plus, clinical trials evaluating UScan's effectiveness in monitoring specific medical conditions have already begun. Although UScan does elevate the risk of patients choosing to self-diagnose, it also gives us a more efficient way to communicate with our doctors and track our conditions. With UScan, we can enter a new age of medical sampling and leave urine-covered hands in the past.